There's not a lot of extraneous information on there. But then you get into this one and then this one where all this other stuff is coming up. And so a lot of what the smartest attorneys do is they reduce they reduce things to that are the skills. I could say skills. And then you could put all this stuff here and just put all this like this. And all of a sudden you've got a much cooler resume here. So that's how I would handle that. Everybody wants to toot their own horn. When someone sees this, I say, this person's really confident. This is cool. And then I just see this. And you could put a little bit more information here, but you don't really need a lot more. And emphasizing things like, if you just say moot court, like this person did, which is okay, then you say, is that all this person did in law school? But if you don't see that, you see nothing, you just think, wow, they must, this is fine. They went to law, and who knows what they did? They might talk about journals and stuff in an interview, but you don't know that. Okay, I hope this is helping people because this is just a lot of information. But I don't know what this thing up here with Hazik Aziz is, but it's not anything to do. I think that's someone that works here's Google account that we downloaded this from. We upload that. Okay, so this legal administrative law school talents and skills. Okay, this needs to come off. The stuff about calm approach, empathy and stuff, not necessary. Experience. Same thing. I would just say e-discovery specialist, like we talked about earlier, and then just discuss some of the stuff you've done. And if you worked for one employer, you work for that, and then you see that. And then 1999 to 2000. I like this. This is, by the way, someone asked a question earlier, what you do if you've worked at a bunch of employers. And this is actually a very good way of dealing with that if you worked at a bunch of employers. You can put down all the different employers you worked at and do it this way. And so I actually like this. I think that is a good way of doing that. You have to be careful, and because they're talking about commercial law attorney as well. So I would just say, worked in a variety of firms, worked in 3 separate law firms in Boston. And then I would probably, because this person's been doing this, I would concentrate on this. I would draft a pleading, and then I would just say, and then I would try to get all this stuff out of here too. And draft a pleading for litigation, bankruptcy, and other matters. Digital law clerk, you don't need to say anything about that. That's what it is. It's your digital law clerk. You don't need to talk about what you did. You don't need to put this in there, and you don't need to put this in there. There was a break. It looks like 2000, what? 1990. Okay, well, that's fine. So if you're applying to schools and stuff, that's fine. But I would just say, if you're applying for legal skills or a legal job, I would say something along the lines of between 2004 and 2015 or whatever. I was working in a high school or working in different jobs. The problem is all this stuff, everything that's going on here is really starting to detract from the legal message. So if you want a legal job, you're going to need to really concentrate on this stuff if this person's trying to get back into the law. If you want another type of job, then this legal experience shouldn't even be on here. But if you want to get back into the law and you want to do e-discovery from home or something, which you may, you could write a cover letter discussing that. And then in the cover letter, you could discuss the fact that you did all this different stuff. But the problem with this resume is a very common one. And I'm not surprised that I'm receiving this resume because I think a lot of the resumes that people send me to review are very similar to this, and they wonder why they're not getting positions. The problem with any resume, the resume needs to show a focus. So you need to have focus. And a focus is very important for any resume. So this person, in terms of what they're doing here, it doesn't really show a lot of focus. It shows that they were an attorney for 10 years at 3 different firms, which is great. And they did bankruptcy, and they did all this stuff. So that's good. Everybody 11. Okay. And then you would want some description of what you did as an e-discovery specialist there. But the problem is that they're just not, that there's just a lot of different things. Here it looks like the person's more interested in being a teacher and a high school leader, or I guess then here it looks like they're working on teaching, and then they're working as a math teacher and all these different things, which I guess they did before going to law school. So that's probably not, it's probably not necessary to put that in there. I would think if this person had education experience, like as an education attorney, they would be good. But here, they're in terms of what their experience is good for. They're really set up to be an attorney, working in doing e-discovery or something litigation related. And all these other things that are on their resume, while interesting, aren't necessarily going to lead anywhere. Like all this education and training is not related. If somebody has time to go and take classes and I certainly would love to take a class in the history of mathematics and all these different things, but these are all related to school law. These are not really anything here related to practicing law. So I would take all this stuff off. And then 1991, this person is definitely has a lot of years left that they could be practicing law if they wanted to. So I would leave it like that. And this person, by the way, marketable if they want to do e-discovery, if that's what they've been doing. And then this person here, they again, 1986, 1988, that's fine. And by the way, attorneys practice into their 80s and some even longer. So I think it's perfectly fine to have that sort of stuff. Hood College, Maryland. Oh, so this actually wasn't a degree. Okay, they got their BA in 1986. Okay. And this thing just goes on and on. So you can take this out. So you do that. And then all these certifications, they're obviously going to be admitted to Massachusetts. I don't think you need that. Anything that's unrelated to practicing law probably should come out. These are applications. These are related to practicing law, but I don't know that they're necessary. I don't know that this is necessary. This is a good resume, by the way, but it's just you have to remember that people that are hiring you aren't necessarily interested in this. This is a common one, putting Mensa on your resume, but that's probably not necessary. It is cute to put on Jeopardy. I like that. Don't think that's necessarily. I like this singing in calculus, and I like this produced at action plate. So this is all very good. These are good things. And let me just see if we have the emissions. And so that kind of, and then this all needs to be just contestant Jeopardy, performed, sang in Carnegie Hall. Just say just say directed, produced, and acted by high school and law school. I think you probably get the idea about all this, but you just want to shorten all this. And so the big thing you guys need to discover or understand is when a law firm is looking at your resume or a legal employer, they're really most concerned about whether or not they think you can do the job and whether or not they think you do the job long term. All this other stuff is detracting from your main message, which is that you may be able to, that you can do the work. And the more that kind of stuff is on there, the more it's going to hurt you. I recommend everyone to go through this exercise and see, because here, now I look at this, I see this person is the e-discovery specialist. When I look at the prior resume, what I see is all the stuff that detracts me from being interested in the person because it just looks like they're really not fit for practicing law. And I wouldn't even put secondary school certificate. I would just put BA in English, a chemistry minor. And now the person looks like a litigator that may have taken 15 years off. No one cares about that. They'll ask about that. I would talk to this person. You can do e-discovery. But if you start seeing all this other stuff that was on there before, the problem is the person starts looking, they have all these other outside interests and they're just going to detract. They're not going to be manageable. The question about Mensa and stuff, and people put that on, that's just saying basically I'm really smart. But all attorneys are smart. You just don't want that. And this person, all the personal stuff about the person comes through with this. They look interesting and fun. Their relevant education is there, and all of this other information they think is necessary isn't there. So it's can remember when I was younger, or even to this day, I guess I'm going to be completely honest here. When I would get in an argument with a girlfriend or something, and everything that ever happened would be brought up and would be made an issue. And pretty soon, like the real issue is, I don't feel like you love me or whatever might be the real issue. But that all gets obfuscated, and you left a towel on the floor, you didn't do the dishes, you forgot to put away the mayonnaise. And these things, I feel disrespected when that happens. So that's the issue. Instead of I don't know, whatever. But so people will put a lot of things in there they think are relevant, but this is all for this particular resume. This is really all that's relevant with this person. They don't need to have all this other information. And then if someone asks, what did you do between 2000 and 2016? You can say, I was a teacher, and now I want to come back to practice. A teacher and high school principal, and I want to come. And you might even put it in person. Teacher and high school principal, 2016, something like that. Then perfectly honest, And then this person's ready to be an e-discovery specialist. And then you can just say programs and so forth. But the thing a lot of people are missing is they're missing in their resumes is they're missing focus. And everybody here, you guys need to work on doing whatever you can to get as much focus as you possibly can on your resumes and to look very focused. And everybody does. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break for 2 minutes to get some more coffee, and then I will come back and we'll do this other resume. We'll just keep working through these. As long as people want to stick around, I'll give it everything I got. So give me a few minutes. All right, we'll keep going. Let me just see if there's any quick questions I can answer for anyone here, since everyone's sticking around. It says you're only halfway through the list of resumes. It does look like I'm only halfway through the resumes. Yeah, I'm working through all these as quickly as I can, but I will try to get through. I'm just going to power through all these for everyone because this is helpful. This will, and hopefully, if you did send your resume, I'm going to definitely do everything I can to get through it today. So. And I've blocked off the day for this, or more time. And I hope this advice is helpful for everyone. I'm going to continue giving advice. And anybody that is watching this, I do commend you because you're going to learn new stuff with each resume, which is pretty cool. You'll just continually learn more and more because every resume is different. And I'm showing you how I think about it and then also how law firms think about it. And the way we're thinking about it and talking about it is very relevant for anyone that's trying to get a position. Okay, so all this stuff for the bar admissions, again, is not necessary to go on top. You don't need that, and it should go at the bottom. And you would just say New Jersey Bar, and you don't even have to say the date. You just everything. Remember, attorneys are paid to just communicate information as quickly as possible, and without a lot of extra information. So I'm going to take that off, and let me see here, and. It doesn't have to be professional experience, it's just experience. Let's see, I have all this other information here. Oh, representative clients. Now that's actually very good. I like that. But let's go here. So we have, let's see here, City of Newark. Okay, let me see. There's data litigation process. So again, like a lot of this language and so forth always needs to be cleaned up. So the things that are good about this resume too, by the way, this person has a lot of employment stability. They've been employed at the same place for quite a while. So I like that. I like this person was a prosecutor. Okay, now what are they doing? Okay, they're doing litigation. So that's the same. And I don't know if this is a law firm or what it is. Or maybe we just made it up for the person. Okay, okay, so the person's been at some good firms. Okay, so let's talk about this. So the way they did things with the education is good. So this is good, how that's done. I like that. There's nothing fancy about that. Now they're talking about their representative clients. So I don't know exactly what that means, but let me just see here. This may be actually the person's own law firm or no, senior associate attorney. Okay, so here's what's important about this resume that I wanted to bring to everyone's attention. So this person, like you have to read through these resumes sometimes very carefully. The practice concentrates in Title 59 defense and defense of employment-related matters. Specialized in defense of public entities, not including defensive claims involving federal and New Jersey RICO and the age of discrimination, blah, 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 blah. So this person actually has a very niche skill, and this person is marketable. And I would not have picked that up based on the resume and the way the resume reads. And by the way, you need to make sure that you always run the proofreading software. This person, what they typically do is they specialize in municipal employment defense. And so basically defending entities against defending public entities. So all you need to say is specialize in defending public entities, public entities, these municipalities and so forth, defend and employment discrimination. So if I saw this, this resume honestly would other civil rights related, something along those lines. This resume would jump out at me and I would be all over this person. I would want to work with them. The reason is because this is a very niche practice area. People are suing public entities and so forth all the time. And you could certainly do it. And this is actually a very marketable skill. And there would be people that would be interested in that. There's practice areas, there's firms that specialize in doing municipal related work and so forth. And that's very important. The same thing here, the person did public entities work. Here, And they also did that. They also worked for a thing here. So this is an exceptional resume. This person is very marketable, even though they're a 1999 graduate. If they were doing general commercial litigation at a major law firm in New York City, they wouldn't be marketable, probably because it's just so difficult to get a job. But at the same time, this person, because of their skill set is, and they have so much experience, and it's, I don't know, it's niche. This person can definitely get a job. There's no question in my mind that this is a marketable attorney. And it's basically the same thing here, and it's the same thing here. This can be much shorter, and then this is similar here. So this. And so now everyone knows what this person does. And then the law office of Linda Berman, and this is there. So suddenly this resume becomes much stronger. You can say a little bit more here, but everything about this person is public entity defense. And that is a very important thing. I don't know if this is this person's clients or not, or what they are, and this is good too. I like this report on uncovered decisions, putting that at the end too. So this is a good resume. But the problem is, if I saw this and I was looking at resumes, and I look at tons and tons of resumes per day, I might not have picked up on all this. If I was like not alert, I wouldn't have picked up. But this is actually a very marketable attorney. And the reason is this attorney is marketable. Attorney is very marketable because of focus. If I was a municipality or a law firm that defended municipalities, this is the exact kind of person I would want to know about, because they had a lot of experience doing all this sort of stuff. I might just take out this kind of stuff too about negligence, and just put other experience, something along those lines. Law firm experience, I don't know, but this is a very focused resume. So you can see how you can take something, and it might actually be nice to have a description of the case if it's municipal related. So this could be something like a police officer beat up somebody in a wheelchair. I don't know. If you have these cases reported decisions, these are all like townships and so forth. So having a description, because what'll happen is you can imagine how many cities and stuff are getting sued for police misconduct and people's civil rights being violated and all this sort of stuff. So the more this attorney is able to bring out their expertise in this, the better. And so if I saw this, I'd be like all over this person. I would love it. But what I saw initially was not that. It was something else. You need to bring out your experience. And this, by the way, I don't know why it's not something along those lines. But this is a public entity defense attorney. Great experience, definitely marketable. It's just there was so much going on the resume that they wouldn't have been able to get a job before.